In the lush, rolling hills of a remote countryside, where the morning mist clings to the green pastures like a soft blanket, an extraordinary tale of survival, motherhood, and human courage is about to unfold. Imagine a gentle mother cow, her coat a warm brown speckled with white, grazing peacefully under the shade of ancient oak trees. This isn't just any cow. She's a devoted parent, her newborn calf nuzzled close to her side, its tiny hooves wobbling as it suckles milk rich with life-giving nourishment. The air is filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers and the distant lowing of other herd members, creating a symphony of rural tranquility. But beneath this idyllic scene lurks a shadowy menace. A giant python, a colossal serpent slithering through the underbrush, with eyes cold as stone, and coils powerful enough to crush the strongest of beasts. This python, a relic of the wild encroaching on human-tamed lands, has set its sights on the vulnerable pair, drawn by the scent of easy prey. As the sun climbs higher, casting golden rays that dance across the dew-kissed grass, the mother cow senses something amiss, her ears twitching, her protective instincts kicking in. Will this innocent creature and her helpless offspring fall victim to the python's deadly embrace? Or will fate summon unlikely saviors, brave police heroes, who charge into the fray to defy nature's cruel hand? Join me on this gripping journey, where the line between life and death is as thin as a blade of grass, and ordinary men and women become legends in the face of terror. This story isn't just about a rescue. It's a heart-racing reminder of the bonds that tie us all, animal and human alike, in the grand tapestry of existence. Hold on tight, because the drama is only beginning to uncoil. Deep within this pastoral paradise, far from the bustling cities, our mother cow, let's name her Bella, embodies the essence of innocence and resilience. She's part of a small herd on a family farm, where days blend into one another with the rhythm of grazing, resting, and nurturing. Bella's calf, a fluffy bundle of curiosity with wide eyes and a playful tail, represents the future, a symbol of renewal in the cycle of life. The farm itself is a haven. Fences woven with vines, a babbling brook nearby providing fresh water, and birds chirping melodies from the treetops. Farmers tend to the land with care, but on this day, Bella has wandered a bit farther into the wooded edges, seeking the juiciest grasses for her little one. Unbeknownst to her, the giant python has made its home in the dense thickets, a survivor of the wilds that sometimes spill over into human domains. This serpent, measuring over 20 feet and as thick as a man's thigh, moves with silent lethality, its scales camouflaged against the earth tones of leaves and soil. The tension builds subtly at first. A rustle in the bushes dismissed as wind, a flicker of shadow that sends a chill down Bella's spine. Yet hope glimmers on the horizon in the form of local police officers, everyday heroes patrolling the rural roads. Alerted by a frantic call from a passerby who spotted the unusual disturbance, they gear up for an adventure beyond their typical duties. Sirens silent to avoid startling the wildlife, they race toward the scene, hearts pounding with a mix of duty and adrenaline. As the python draws nearer, its forked tongue tasting the air for Bella's scent, the stage is set for an epic clash. Who will emerge victorious in this battle of fangs versus fortitude, coils versus courage? Stay with me, dear viewers, as we delve deeper into this unforgettable saga of bravery that will leave you inspired and awestruck. Before the whisper of danger disrupted the harmony, Bella's life was a portrait of serene contentment in the heart of the countryside. As a Holstein cow, her black and white patches gleamed under the sun, a common sight in these fertile lands where dairy farming thrived. Bella had recently given birth to her calf, whom we'll call Daisy, a tiny miracle with soft fur and an insatiable appetite for her mother's milk. Their bond was unbreakable. Bella would gently lick Daisy's head, cleaning and comforting her, while Daisy frolicked nearby, her legs gaining strength with each playful bound. The farm was an idyllic retreat, vast meadows dotted with wildflowers, a red barn standing proud against the skyline, and a pond reflecting the blue heavens. Mornings began with the farmer's call, leading the herd to fresh pastures where Bella grazed on clover and ryegrass, her jaws working rhythmically as she chewed cud. Afternoons were for rest, lying in the shade with Daisy curled up against her warm side, the calf's soft breath syncing with Bella's. Evenings brought the herd back to the barn for milking, where Bella stood patiently, providing sustenance for the family that cared for her. Life was predictable yet fulfilling, a cycle of eat, rest, and nurture that echoed the season's turn. In this peaceful existence, Bella exemplified the quiet strength of farm animals. She knew the land well, navigating the gentle slopes, avoiding thorny patches, and finding the sweetest spots for grazing. Daisy, still wobbly but eager, mimicked her mother, nibbling at grass blades and exploring under Bella's watchful eye. The other cows in the herd added to the community feel, lowing softly in conversation, sharing the space harmoniously. Birds perched on their backs, picking at insects, while butterflies danced around, adding splashes of color to the scene. The farmer, a kind soul with weathered hands, ensured their well-being with regular checkups and ample feed. Bella's days were free from worry, focused solely on her calf's growth. Daisy's eyes sparkled with innocence, her tail swishing happily as she nursed, drawing strength from Bella's abundant milk. This maternal devotion was nature's purest form, a testament to life's continuity. Yet the farm bordered untamed woods, a reminder that peace could be fragile. For now, though, tranquility reigned, with the sun setting in hues of orange and pink, painting the sky as Bella and Daisy settled for the night. As twilight faded, Bella's world felt complete, her heart full with the simple joys of motherhood. Little did she know, the encroaching wild held secrets that would soon shatter this bliss, turning a routine day into a fight for survival. As the afternoon sun filtered through the canopy, a subtle unease began to permeate the air, heralding the arrival of an ancient predator. The giant python, a Burmese python escaped from exotic pet trade or migrated from nearby wetlands, had claimed the wooded fringes as its territory. This behemoth, over 18 feet long with a girth rivaling a tree trunk, was a master of camouflage, its mottled brown and gold scales blending seamlessly with the leaf litter and shadows. Pythons are opportunistic hunters, capable of ambushing prey much larger than themselves, using constriction to subdue victims before swallowing them whole. This one, hungry after days without a substantial meal, had detected the vibrations of Bella's hooves and the scent of warm-blooded life wafting from the meadow's edge. It slithered silently from its coiled rest in a hollow log, its muscular body gliding over roots and underbrush without a sound. The forked tongue flicked rhythmically, tasting the air for direction, guiding it toward the unsuspecting cow and calf. Bella, grazing contentedly, paused mid-bite, her ears perking up at an unfamiliar rustle. She lifted her head, nostrils flaring, scanning the tree line with wide eyes. Daisy, oblivious, continued to play, but Bella's maternal instincts sharpened, drawing her closer to her offspring. The python advanced methodically, pausing every few feet to reassess, its cold eyes locked on the targets. In the wild, such serpents prey on deer, pigs, and even alligators, but a cow and calf presented a tempting feast. The shadow elongated as the sun dipped, casting eerie patterns that masked the snake's approach. Birds in the trees fell silent, their instincts warning of danger, while a distant dog barked faintly from the farmhouse. Bella stamped her hoof, a subtle alarm, but the python remained undetected, inching closer to the fence line where the pasture met the woods. The tension mounted like a gathering storm, each moment stretching taut. The python's coils tensed, preparing for the strike, its head rising slightly above the grass. Bella lowed softly, calling Daisy to her side, her body positioning protectively between the calf and the perceived threat. The farm's peace was fracturing, subtle signs accumulating. A twig snap here, a leaf quiver there. The serpent, now mere yards away, blended into the undergrowth, patient and lethal. In these rural areas, encounters between wildlife and livestock were rare but not unheard of, often ending in tragedy without intervention. As the shadow fully emerged, slithering under the fence, the stage was set for terror. Bella's heart raced, her moose growing urgent. But the python was committed, hunger overriding caution. And then, a glimmer of hope. A passing motorist noticed the unusual movement and dialed emergency services, setting heroes in motion. The calm shattered in an instant as the giant python launched its assault, bursting from the underbrush with terrifying speed. Its jaws gaped wide, striking at Bella's hind leg in a bid to immobilize her. Bella bellowed in shock and pain, rearing up on her hind legs as the serpent's fangs sank in, not venomous but piercing enough to draw blood. Daisy scampered behind her mother, bleeding in fear, as Bella kicked wildly, her hooves glancing off the python's tough scales. The snake recoiled momentarily, then surged forward, wrapping its massive coils around Bella's midsection in a deadly embrace. Constriction began immediately, the python's muscles contracting like a vice, squeezing the air from Bella's lungs. She thrashed desperately, her horns swinging as she tried to gore the intruder, but the coils held firm, inching higher toward her neck. The calf, vulnerable and exposed, huddled nearby, its eyes wide with terror as the struggle unfolded. Dust kicked up in clouds, the meadow transforming into a battlefield. Bella's moos turned to gasps, her strength waning under the relentless pressure. The python's eyes remained impassive, its body undulating to tighten the hold, ribs creaking under the strain. Daisy darted in, nuzzling her mother in futile encouragement. But the snake lashed its tail, nearly striking the calf. Bella mustered a surge of adrenaline, stomping down hard, her hoof landing on the python's tail with a thud that elicited a hiss of rage. Blood from the bite wound stained the grass, mixing with the serpent's minor scrapes. The attack was primal, a clash of raw power where the python's strategy was to exhaust and suffocate, while Bella fought with every ounce of maternal fury. Nearby animals fled. The birds took to the skies. Rabbits bolted into burrows, leaving the trio in isolated horror. As the coils tightened further, Bella's vision blurred, her legs buckling under the weight. The python attempted to drag her toward the woods, but she resisted, digging her hooves into the earth. Daisy's cries pierced the air, a heartbreaking soundtrack to the ordeal. In a desperate bid, Bella rolled, trying to crush the snake beneath her bulk, but it adjusted, looping around her more securely. The heart-pounding intensity peaked, each second a battle for breath and life. Just when collapse seemed imminent, distant sirens wailed. Help was approaching, but would it arrive in time?